Welcome to my Action Research project. The first step in determining my project was to look at what I know, what I want to know, and what I can do with the results. I have a background of 10 years teaching English language learners. I enjoy technology in the classroom as a teaching tool, and now I'm receiving my master's from Full Sail with technology. At the school I teach, the second language learner population is over 3/4 of the school population, as shown in the graph on the left. These learners obviously need to be addressed. Knowing the demographics of the school, the needs of the learners, and my available teaching tools, I came up with my action research question. Can adding digital readers and digital learning environments to the regular class instruction increase learners' fluency, vocabulary, and literature skills, especially of an ELL student? No question, I had to take it further. Consulting with peers and professors, I decided to research 3 main topics on 21st century learning with ELLs. In order to collect data from the school, I decided to use the Florida Assessments for Instruction and Reading, also known as the FAIR. In August 2001, 50% of my class was randomly selected to take part in the target audience. The initial data was collected through administering the first round of the FAIR. The learning objectives were based on the 3 main areas assessed in the FAIR. The teacher began instructing based on those assessments, individualizing each lesson for the students as well as for the class. Cycle 1 closed with the Winter Fair being administered in January. On the data chart, students are represented as A through K. The first graph shows a side-by-side of initial versus winter. Below, the next graph shows an increase or decrease of the student's performance. 64% of the students showed learning gains. After looking at the 36% of students that did not make learning gains, I realized more technology and individualized instruction may help these students soar in Cycle 2. Cycle 2 begins at the end of January, and more Web 2.0 tools and multimedia projects are added to the curriculum. E-books were a great way for the ELL student to engage in learning. The Silvandell Publishing offers English and Spanish and almost 50 books for the students to integrate science and literature in the classroom.
Panda's Earthquake Escape by Phyllis J. Perry, illustrated by Susan Detweiler. Li Ling and Tang Fei, 2 giant pandas, woke with a start. Tang Fei means soaring high, and there was nothing this cub loved better than sleeping where he was, high in a tree. But today, something strange was happening. The tree in which they were napping had begun to sway. The 2 puzzled pandas clung tightly. The gentle swinging motion gave way to a whipping back and forth as the ground trembled beneath them. An earthquake! As the shaking continued, the tree limb broke and fell. Li Ling and Tang Fei came tumbling down. Surprised and frightened, Li Ling, the mother panda, immediately checked on her cub. They had both landed on the ground among the leaves and branches, but were not hurt. The earth shook again. The wall around the nature enclosure where they lived came crashing down just a few feet from them. The 2 frightened pandas ran off.
An example of multimedia is the A to Z Science Study Guide created by the small groups of students. Students and teachers worked together with technology to create a book. This was a digital story using digital cameras, textbooks, GarageBand, Keynote, and iMovie. The students got to work together with the teachers, and the teachers learned from the students as well as the students learning from the teachers. Here is the beginning of one of the books created by the small groups.
A is for atmosphere, that blanket of air and gases that surround the Earth.
B is for blizzard, which is a winter storm and with a low temperature, strong wind, heavy snowfalls, and blowing snow.
Cycle 2 data ended in May with Spring Fair administration. The first graph shows the 3 assessments side by side: initial, winter, and spring. Measuring the progress from winter to spring, 82% of the students showed learning gains. Comparing spring testing results to the initial fair, 90% of the target audience shown an increase averaging 27 points. The combination of guided and whole group reading, digital readers, ebooks, online, cooperative learning, and multimedia in the classroom provides for a positive learning gain. Technology engages multiple intelligences delivering learning. Due to the fact that most of my students are low socioeconomic English language learners, further research can be completed to see if low socioeconomic non-ESOL students could have the same learning gains.